Every previous Bitcoin and crypto bull market happened after the Bitcoin halving. In fact, it was actually a very similar and almost predictable pattern where we saw these crypto bull markets play out. And it happened with a peak 12 to 18 months after the Bitcoin halvings. So I just want to dive into my computer and show you on the chart, going back all the way to 2012, all the past Bitcoin bull markets, which is obviously the rest of the crypto bull markets, and show you exactly how that played out and how now in 2024 that is still on track to repeat in almost an identical way. So let's dive into the computer. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's start out with the 4-year cycle. This is a chart of Bitcoin. It is the weekly chart going back all the way to 2012. It is in a log scale for easy visuals. And we have the 50 simple moving average and the 200 simple moving average in red. The 50 is in blue. What we have here on this chart, the vertical lines represent the previous Bitcoin halvings. Then the red circles are about a year going into the halving, as you can see every single time. And then the blue circles are what has previously been the Bitcoin bull cycles post halving. And as you can see over here, so this was in 2012, this was the first Bitcoin halving. You can see the previous 3 cycles, the previous 12 years, this pattern has repeated almost exactly every single time. In the year leading up to the halving, things started to run up. We had the halving, we had a little bit of consolidation there, and then the 12 months post halving, we had a massive increase in price where the price of Bitcoin peaked anywhere between 12 to 18 months after the halving. Then it went into a massive bear market that lasted, you can see over here, typically about 2 years. And while it doesn't look that big here because it's a log scale, these bear markets, the price of Bitcoin dropped anywhere between 70 and 90% every single time, right? So you had this one over there, then you had this whole bear market here, you had this bear market. So we are pretty familiar with that. The interesting thing to note here is these 3 cycles that is repeated every single time. And you can say, maybe this is because it's all built around the Bitcoin halving. Maybe it's because Bitcoin has a fixed supply, and every time that there is a halving, the newly created Bitcoin gets cut in half. So to compensate for that, the price has to increase. Whatever the reason for this is the fact of the previous price action, okay? And we are now in this 4th cycle. We have had the Bitcoin halving in April of 2024. And so far, this cycle has still been repeating very, very similarly to the previous 3 cycles. The year leading into the Bitcoin halving, price started to run up. We've been trading sideways now for quite a few months. And yes, there's been a correction from 74,000 down to 50,000. But basically, you can see this is trading sideways in a period that it usually has been doing around the halving too. You can see here for several weeks or a couple of months here even, it's been trading sideways. Same thing here, same thing here. So we are still perfectly within that window. Now the question is going to be, does this cycle continue to repeat? And do we continue going higher into March or April of 2025, which would be 12 months, or even beyond that, even in November of 2025, which would be 18 months, as we've seen in the past 2 cycles for Bitcoin peaks post-halving? Or is this time different? Is this time where things deviate from the previous cycles, and has the cycle topped, and do we go down from here? So far, we are under the assumption that the cycle is still repeating, and until we get confirmation of that deviation, so confirmation that the bull cycle has been broken, technically, I think we have to make the assumption that higher prices still lie ahead of us in the next potentially 7 or 8 months or so, right? You can see over here, March 2025, this would be about 12 months. So how high can the price go? We have no idea. This is a log scale, so this isn't a projection for the price. I mean, this would already be 300,000. I doubt it goes that high. We're at 60,000. I mean, even if it does a 2 or a 3x from here, would already be very, very big. This would be $120,000 to $180,000, and that would obviously be crazy already if we get that. So we are going to know very, very soon how this is going to continue to play out. I also want to show you a couple of other charts. Then I want to look at the Bitcoin seasonality, because based on that, we still have October and November, which are historically bullish. And then, of course, the first quarter of the year is also bullish. So we do have that seasonality potentially in our favor for this continuation of this bull cycle trend. And then I want to share with you also what I'm looking for as an invalidation of when I think the cycle is no longer in play, and when we have to look at other options, other scenarios, and potentially even consider, a longer bearish trend before further upside continuation. So this is the Bitcoin cycle. And of course, as Bitcoin continues higher, the altcoins will follow. Everything is going to be dependent on Bitcoin. We need Bitcoin to continue higher, to generate new liquidity, to generate new interest, new media attention, which then generates more money, more retail investment, which then pumps the altcoins and everything gets going. So that's why I'm focused here specifically on Bitcoin, on the cycle. And as you can see here from this chart, going back all the way basically to Bitcoin's inception, the previous 3 cycles have perfectly followed a similar pattern. And now this 4th time, we are still in that same similar pattern that has been repeating so far. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, but I want to know your thoughts. What do you think is happening? Will this cycle repeat one more time? Are we on track for a potential massive pump in the crypto markets in the next 6 to 8 months that will give us a top about 12 months after this current halving, which happened in April of 2024, which means that the next cycle top would then likely be in March or in April of 2025? Or is this the time when things are going to be different? Is it going to deviate? I want to know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And be sure to like, share, and follow my page if you want more updates like this.